All right, in 3, 2, 1.
Baby, you know how it goes. It gets lonely in this bed alone. Pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up.
Welcome back, PowerHeads and Kananites. Here we are with our man E. Dot and myself, G Money. Wow, we really start off with a bang. That kind of reminds me of our old school days. Whenever there was a fight, you heard about it in the upper levels. Everybody's running down the spiral staircase, chasing after one another. So we never really find out what's up until everybody's down in the basement. And it looks like Unique and the rest of his cronies, they got your boy Trez G, and he's knocked up. He's bloodied, he's beaten. He's sitting there wrapped to a chair. E, what's going on?
Definitely a strange situation considering that, they grew up together. There's a lot of talk about how they're, close as brothers. So seeing this situation go down like this was, it's kind of shocking, but it also just shows you that the streets are what rule this entire community. So Unique is going to do what Unique has to do to protect his business. And if he thinks that Trez G is the one that sold him out or the one that's been, using his product instead of selling it, he's gonna have a problem.
Yeah, the whole thing had a feel of the Nito Brown and the Cash Money brothers from the New Jack City, where he's like, "I love you, man, CMB."
It definitely felt like sit your $5 ass down before I make change. It definitely felt like that.
Ching. Yeah, so basically they're sitting there torturing him, and you know what had to happen at this point? There was a bust, and they lost all the product and everything, but somebody within the crew had to snitch on Trez G. I guess maybe that person wasn't a fan of Paula Abdul.
Yeah, somebody obviously had to snitch. It's tough. We don't, necessarily know exactly who it was. We can always have some inferences and educated guesses, but we know exactly who it was, but somebody sold him out.
And as we mentioned before last week, man, looks like Trez G was one of the most efficient crackheads you could possibly have. Because he was hitting that pipe and he was the first one to catch that they were about to be busted, and he was yelling out. So he was on his game. I don't know how he does it by smoking crack, but he was on it. Now he's out of the game. So moving forward, we got another movie reference. Sidney Poitier, guess who's coming to dinner? Because it's Tuesday night. Your boy's cooking up the pot. He's got the spaghetti going with the sauce, and who pops in with Rock?
Rock's little boo thing symphony popped up.
Not the boo thing.
Boo thing is what we're gonna call him. We're gonna call him boo thing. Rock's little boo thing symphony showed up. He's definitely trying to stake his claim and show that he's gonna be around for some time. I mean, that's a bold move showing up on mother-son dinner night. That's a very bold move.
As Kanan stressed it, mom she forgot. So she never even told Symphony. He was just playing, on the run and stuff like that. They put him in the middle of the game and he was like, okay, scramble. So he's like, yeah, well, thanks for inviting me to dinner. Sauce was bananas and it's got a little kick to it. You could sell this. And your boy was selling himself, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was, because I'm telling you right now, Kanan was like, look, dude, this was not for you. I did not want you here. Why are you here? The first time I meet you, you're half naked sitting at my computer. And now you're at dinner. Like, it's supposed to be just my mom and myself. Like, this is like, dude, you're overstepping.
Your ass was greasing up the computer seat because, it was butt naked. So what the hell's going on? So flash forward to now. Meanwhile, after he leaves and he has to spoon up his own food, but your boy is still playing the game, man. He's still in the game. He's swinging. Rock confronts Kanan in the kitchen, and she's giving him the riot act. And she's like, you don't expect me to apologize, because that's not how this whole thing rolls. So I guess that's that tough love right there. And she says, I've noticed also that your grades have been slipping. That's what the doc says at school. So, we got to do something about that. I'm putting you in some after school sessions.
Exactly. I think that was very punitive. That was very, you want to be all up in my business, worrying about what I'm doing. I'll be all up in yours, worrying about what you're doing.
There you go. Who's the parent here? Meanwhile, though, Rock is making some moves, man. I mean, she's working with that apartment guy. And, the dude was like, no, I don't know if I can get you any apartments, much less one on top of the other. And then she whips out that big wad of, Cash rules everything around me, cream.
Get the money, dollar bill, y'all.
He whipped out that wad and he was like, I got you. So going from there, they go to the stash house, the new stash house, the bodega, make sure everything is nice and locked down, it's fortified. This dude, man, the bodega runner dude, I mean, he's saying, yeah, I'll do, and then every other episode, he's popping off. He's getting a little too much attitude, don't you think?
Yeah, I think he's a little confused as to what's going on. I think he still thinks that he has any control in this situation, and he really doesn't. And he just needs to understand that he just sold himself out, and that's going to be what it's going to be.
And she had actually shut him down and put it verbatim for him. He was like, this is my place of business. She's like, no, it's my place of business.
Exactly, it's my place of business. And money from the drugs is going to bring in more money than that bodega is going to bring in on a monthly basis. So she's right. That's her place of business now.
So here we go. We're rolling up on our first sex scene. Your girl Tony's putting the Pilates on Marvin. And but the next thing you know, right after the session, she's like, let's cuddle.
If hit it and quit it was a person, it would be Marvin. He was like, wait, what do you want to cuddle? What is this cuddling thing? I don't do this.
He said, don't no brothers cuddle. I don't see all them cuddling niggas around here.
Exactly.
And then he's like, you haven't fed LT? And he's just like, I mean, that cuddle attempt, I've been kind of pushed off you with the cuddle sometimes, but that was like mad, major, pissed off anti-cuddle. And then he ends up taking LT because she's neglecting her gift. And then so she tries to say, but that was a gift. And he was like, I love you some D too. So you want me to leave that with you too?
It was a very weird situation just to see him, deal with that, because in this game, I feel like you don't ever want to burn any bridges. And I feel like he really just burned the bridge unless, he's got enough game to get himself back in there.
Yeah, and to me, I thought, he was making masterful moves when he put the play on her to start with. But I guess he just wanted some ass. I was like, what happened? I mean, because he was elevating himself in my mind. It's like, he's not as simple as, everybody's making him out to be, but now he's taking steps back. But
no, he's as simple as everybody makes him out to be. He just proved it. He's as simple.
Yeah, he is. Or maybe just he had some type of issues in the past that was some post-traumatic shit.
It's possible.
When somebody tried to cuddle on him. So meanwhile, he's got his moving orders. He's got to go ahead and get the stash moved. So he goes to our boy, Mr. Dependable, Scrappy. What's going on with Scrappy?
Scrappy had the bubble guts, or so he says.
Oh no, he had the bubble guts.
It's Scrappy looked down bad. There's no way he was going anywhere.
He's like, my ass is leaking. So that kind of convinced Marvin to keep on stepping at that point, because he
kept on stepping, but the direction he went was gonna have some repercussions, especially considering how the night went. I mean, how the entire day went. That move Marvin made is, I think it'll come back to bite him in the ass.
So we don't want to reveal too much right away, especially for spoiler alert towards the end of the episode. But while that's all going on there, your boy is prowling around the neighborhood, Unique. He's trying to spy on everybody, and he catches Davina talking to young Kanan. And then Kanan rolls out, and Unique jumps out, and he starts rapping to Davina, and he's like, he's trying to get some information on Kanan, and she's initially kind of tight-lipped, but then he hits for the heart. He's telling the story about how he put this dude in rehab, and he's doing really well, coaching basketball now and all that stuff. And as we all know, I mean, to most people, it's pretty obvious that Davina's mom is substance abuse. She's addicted. So now he's hit her in the heart. And then, so he's promising, I'm not gonna do anything to Kanan, but I'll give me some information about Kanan. And I'm like, okay, so what do you think he's gonna do with that information about Kanan, if you're Davina?
Yeah, I don't know what her thought process was. I do understand that, she at home. Let's make sure that we do, acknowledge the fact that addiction is a serious problem in this country, this world. And especially amongst some members of our community. So, I want to make sure that we don't downplay the fact that somebody wanting to get their family member, especially a parent, some type of help. Definitely something that, we should champion, but not the way she went about it. She sold Kanan out. That guy that was in there, he was gonna kill Kanan.
Definitely. So, you know, that was a bad look for her. But there was also another punch to the gut that Unique delivered, and he threw Kanan's name in there with the shooting on Buck 20. So, and meanwhile, all up until this point in time, you know, Kanan's been denying he's seen anything, heard anything. He said D-Wiz, who was referred to by Unique as G-Wiz. He's denying his involvement, he's denying D-Wiz's involvement and all that, and now that's not looking too good. So she's kind of getting punched in the gut from all different angles, so she might have stumbled on that one. She did sell him out, but you know, she was reeling. She was on the ropes for that one.
No, I mean, for sure, I just think that, like, it's Kanan's fault, first of all, because Kanan should have never even, you know, invited her to there in the first place. And at the same time, you know, it just kind of goes to show that no matter what, you never know who you can trust. He trusted her with meeting him at that location, and she broke his trust, and he doesn't even know it yet.
So here we go. We got to put it back on Marvin again. Marvin, you're going to save the day, because now that Unique and them know the stash house, they're going to go ahead and rob it. So they go in there full force. The dude like knocks Kanan to the ground, and he's already telling them, like you just mentioned, you know, you're one of those guys who was there when Buck 20 was killed, and you know, I should take you out just for that. And so, like you said, he was thinking about that. Meanwhile, Marvin sees what's going on there. They're loading a lot of stash and cash in the back of the van, and he seems like he's gonna save the day, but not really. He just ends up smashing up his Mercedes in the wing tire, while the other guys just pull off with the stash and the cash.
Might have been the dumbest thing he could have ever done. He destroyed his entire Mercedes, didn't get any of the cash, and has a body on his hand now when he has no money. Like, they took all the money. At the end of the day, all he's left with is a beat up car, a busted up windshield, and a body he's got to figure out something to do with.
So let's jump it forward to the end of the day. Basically, he runs in the house, and Kanan, that guy's, you know, I'll shoot this boy, you better let me out of here. And then he was like, you know, wait a minute. And he distracts him and blows him away. And I was like, okay. And meanwhile, blood spattering all over Kanan's shirt. And, you know, it's the second time he's just seen somebody die right in front of him with the gurgles. Not the bubble guts, the gurgles.
Yeah, he had the gurgles that time. He called Earl.
There you go. So he's left with all sorts of messes to clean up. So then you move forward a little bit. You know, he gets himself together a little bit. I guess they go ahead and go about, you know, cleaning everything up. And Marvin's probably going to concoct a harebrained scheme to tell Rock about what really happened and stuff. And he was like, your mama's not going to find out. You know, just go ahead. Now, remember, back in the day, well, in the very first episode, I believe Marvin was smart enough to tell somebody to go ahead and burn the clothing. Did he do that this time with Kanan?
He did not. And Kanan did not remember.
I mean, I can't blame him. He's a baby in the game. But Marvin dropping the ball once again. Double, triple dribble, mess it up. So there he goes with that. And we got these two little parallels. We're gonna call them the lovebirds, okay? So one set of lovebirds is Nicole and Jukebox. At Nicole's house, they're watching the video, they're wrestling around. The parents jump in the room, they see the video, and they're like, oh my God, Laverne. And the dad hits him with very fly. So I thought that was pretty fucking hilarious.
Dad was trying way too damn hard. It was painful to watch. Like, bro, you're trying too hard. Relax.
So they get a little frisky with each other before the parents come in, and then, you know, next thing you know, Juke, she's out there. She's still trying to figure out what she's going to do with the money she has saved from all the clothes she's boosted, but she still doesn't have enough money to get recording. Now we're going to jump from Nicole and Jukebox over to Lulu and Jess. So Jess is sitting up there with your boy, Crown Camacho, and they're all snuggled up in the recording studio. And who's that on the mic?
Not so famous. Might not ever be famous.
He said he's jumping out the Maserati with the blasting his shotty. You know, he's saying, but then he threw the naughty by nature in there, because I'm naughty by nature and the streets need a body. I thought that was a pretty good flow right there. But then I'm like, wait a minute. We're in the early 80s and Naughty by Nature came out in 89. So what you doing there, son?
Thank you. Thank you. So sometimes everybody's cultural references aren't, they're not exactly historically accurate.
Maybe he's Nas Trodamus. So moving forward there, you know, he's blazing and whatnot. Your boy Camacho is like bouncing his head to it and everything, but then he's like super critical of it afterwards. And then he's really, I'm trying to think out like, okay, we all know he's trying to play Jess and trying to get in her pants. But basically what's happening is first he's bopping to it and he's like, you're not all that good. And then he's like, but I'm gonna sign you. And then he's like, and I'm gonna put you in the showcase. And he's got all this stuff he's flying at both of them, and in walks Lulu. Now, this is, in my opinion, where a mistake was made. And I think the mistake was made was Jess has already told Lulu that, you know, she's trying to get famous on. But she didn't tell him she was going to meet Camacho at the studio. You know what I mean? So when he walks in, he's totally surprised. He's caught off guard.
I mean, I think the big part is that, you know, Jess is, you know, she's flirting hard. And I don't know if it's to get her brother on or if it's real flirtation, but she's flirting hard. And so he sees this and he's like, whoa. You know, why are you doing this?
After the big hug.
Yeah, everybody sees what's going on. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah, so they stepped outside a little bit. You know, he's like, I gotta talk to you. And he was like, boom, boom, boom. And then, so Jess, she's got all the answers. You gotta give it to her. She knows exactly how to respond to things where she doesn't look guilty, really. She's telling them like, you know, look, I still believe in you, but we're on different time clocks. You gotta go ahead and get your studio and get everything under wraps and start your recording studio and all that. But in the meantime, I'm trying to put down my cousin as soon as possible. And then she goes ahead and hits it home. So she's like, if you remember, your older sister put you on, and that's what I'm trying to do with Famous.
Yeah, at the same time, she gonna mess around and get Camacho killed. She keeps flirting a little bit too hard.
Well, if you've seen any of the other series that Quincy Brown's been in, you can't kill that dude. He was paralyzed in an accident on Star. And next thing you know, two years later, he's walking. So, you know, that's a hard dude to kill. I think your series will end before you kill Quincy Brown. So moving from there, so, you know, she calms Lou down, man. You know, she basically, you know, they're heading in the right direction, I think. And then she pecks him on the cheek and she gets ready to go in and he brings her back for the big smooch. So I think he's kind of falling in line with where she's trying to go with it. Now, we're gonna switch back to your girl Jukebox. Because she's there playing the video games, and who comes in there bragging about his new studio deal, not paying any money for studio sessions, and being entered into a showcase where I can put you on, Rock.
Famous comes in talking about all this free stuff he's getting, and yeah, Juke was pissed.
Oh yeah, man, she was on fire when she headed out of there. So it's like, okay, I got a plan. I got to make another boost. And then she gets on the phone and I'm like, okay, she uses the line because basically what happened is when they were about to do the boost last time, she's like, who ordered the shoplifting last time? And the dude tells her that it's like, Rip did it. And, you know, this is our code. You know, whenever one calls, all have to answer. So now she calls, and I guess that doesn't work with females, huh?
Guess not. But she called and it didn't go down the way she wanted it to go down. But she went on her own volition anyway.
She only grabbed one jacket, which I'm like, okay. She gonna put yourself at risk, you know, grab a couple jackets. And she's heading on out. Now, let's go ahead and flash back to the last episode. There's the dude called Rip, who's the one that called the whole shots the last time. And a security guard happens to catch him, and Rip happens to beat the mess out. And then
he the brakes off him.
Right, but who saves the day? Jukebox, right?
Juke saves him, and obviously, you know, that played a role because he caught her. Nothing she could do if he didn't decide to let her go. And he was like, hey, look, now we're even. The next time, I'm gonna take you in.
Yeah, and that scene also from the previous episode, that showed a lot about Juke. She doesn't take, what she sees is wrong, you know, she's gonna right it. Yeah. And dude was like, you know, that's why you never send a bitch to do a nigga's job. And she was like, oh, you don't know me. And next thing you know,
she put a box cutter. She put a box cutter out on her.
Yeah, so, you know, that shut down all that noise like immediately. So, you know, then she goes back and she starts talking to Nicole, and she like gives the jacket to Nicole. She's like, I'm done with this boosting because it's what you always talked about with the karma. You know, I did something good, you know, even though we were in a bad situation, and it ended up letting me go scot-free. So this is my gift to you. And that's a big one for Nicole, man. She's like, okay, it's time to pop Juke's cherry. Because if you notice, Juke is like, I've never done this before. So there it is. This is her first real encounter. And Nicole's like, I have. Just do what you feel.
The only thing I don't really like about the entire thing is like, you know, I don't know how old these girls are. So it's kind of a little bit weird. I'm glad they kind of cut it short.
Yeah, it was a little itchy.
It's like right on that borderline of like, are they seniors or like what grade are they in, you know, in high school at this point?
So we got everybody pretty much wrapped up in a nice little tiny bow. Basically going from there, you know, they showed us a little bit of information about the next episode where Rock is like, we're gonna hit back. So there's gonna be a lot going on there. Kanan gets busted for beating up on somebody. So I was wondering what that's about too. Maybe it's like some comeback on about $120 again. But meanwhile, Kanan goes to his first lecture, and who's the lecturer?
Jesus Christ, this is his mom's boo. He's like, God.
Mr. Banana Sauce with the spicy kick.
Thank you. He's like, I know Kanan's like, I can't escape this. Like, I gotta see this dude all the time. And Rock knew what she was doing. That was very intentional. It was like, oh, okay, you don't like him? You don't like him being around and your grades are messed up? Guess what? You're about to go be in his class.
There you go.
That's a boss move. That is a I'm 2 steps ahead of you type move.
There you go, man. So that was pretty smart, pretty vicious, pretty mischievous on her part too. So but then she's cleaning up. Why is she cleaning up after Kanan? I don't know, but she finds something.
Finds a shirt that he didn't burn like he should have underneath his bed.
Marvin. Now she knows, you know, and Morocco's pretty damn smart, man. So she's gonna put the pieces together. I don't know if she's gonna find out about the bubble guts first or what, but she knows that somehow Kanan is involved in some stuff, and he's either a killer or he's seen the killing. And so she's just gonna have to really dig and figure out, you know, what direction we're heading with that. So she's planning revenge on your boy Unique. She's gonna try to figure out what the involvement is with Kanan, with the bloody shirt. And she's got her work cut out for her in the next episode, doesn't she?
She does, but I think Marvin is gonna paint Kanan as a quasi-hero, you know, in an attempt to take away from the fact that he should have never been there. I think his only real play is to make Kanan look like a hero and hope that Kanan goes along with the situation and that he wasn't just sitting there on his knees the entire time.
So it's another great episode in the wraps. Thanks out very much to my brother right there, E-Dot. This is G-Money signing off. Editor Dill, man, we gotta throw you in there somewhere, right, man? You're never on screen. We're gonna get you on screen at some point. But we out till next week. Love you, see you there. And then she whips out that big wad of cash rules everything around me cream. What you supposed to say? What you supposed to say? Cash rules everything around me cream. Get the money, dollar bill, y'all.
Okay, I got you.
Okay, so we're gonna try that again.